today. Just want to have a quick talk about the Melbourne Knights. They issued a bit of an announcement yesterday in regards to the national second tier, and I just wanted to tell you all about it, just in case you may have missed it. So obviously yesterday being Thursday, April 11, in the afternoon, Melbourne Knights dropped this little announcement on their website just about the national second tier. Melbourne Knights Football Club can today confirm that it will not be and has no intention of applying for the recently announced national second tier in its current proposed state. While being a long-time advocate for such a competition, a number of key elements remain to be of concern. The club firmly believes it to be in the best interests of the game in Australia that the current proposed competition either be further delayed or abandoned entirely. The club remains an advocate of an NST and welcomes further dialogue with Football Australia. So 4 parts, not heaps to it, but I still think there's a fair bit to unpack. First of all, in my own opinion, the Melbourne Knights just can't afford the national second tier, and they're being a bit salty and arrogant. And I think the competition shouldn't go ahead because they can't afford to be it, and they kind of have some divine right to be a part of it because of what they've done in the past. Do understand I've jumped to quite a conclusion there, but you know, we're here. We have our opinions every week, every video on this channel, and that's my opinion that the Melbourne Knights can't afford it. But having a look at it, while being a long-time advocate for such a comp, I don't think no one will deny that, a number of key elements remain to be of concern. Love to know what these key concerns are. You know, if they were genuine concerns, you'd come out and tell us that right now. What are the key elements? Is it money? Because I think it's money. Club firmly believes it to be an interest of the game in Australia. The current proposed contract be further delayed or abandoned entirely. Now, I think that's a bit rich. I mean, there's 8 teams we know of that are ready to go. It was announced that Marconi, Sydney Olympic, Sydney United, Wollongong, IPLICA, South Melbourne, Avondale, and Preston Lions were all going to be a part of the inaugural competition last year. And I'm sure Football Australia would have gone through a strict vetting process to select the first 8 clubs. I think Football Australia has been very keen to make sure this competition is sustainable, that the clubs that are going to be a part of it can afford it and can last long-term in this competition. I know there was talks of $500,000 deposit to be a part of this competition, and that clubs wanted players to be full-time. They wanted them to be professional. I think that's a fair approach from Football Australia. I've never thought that was a bad idea. I think the thing with the National Soccer League, the NSL, before the A-League, it was just a bit of a basket case. There were some clubs that were full-time, some that were part-time. It was a bit all over the place. Clubs would come and join. There was no real structure to it. There was no serious proper or organised system for promotion and relegation. We never really have had a proper structure around that back in the NSL days. And so I think Football Australia wants to create a proper process, a proper competition that is sustainable. And I think that's a great thing. Sorry, I'll stop sharing press release. So that's exciting. That's the way they're going. But for me, reading that press release, it's just Melbourne Knights can't afford it. And I think we're now at a point where you got to have a proper competition. You can't get in based on, you know, past success. You know, I think they're 2-time NSL champions. So the club's got to get a bit real here and just pull their head in, get the money. If that is a problem. Like I said, I've obviously jumped to a bit of a conclusion there because is that true? Well, a lot of discussion online yesterday and a bit today on, you know, Twitter and Reddit and all about that. It seems like a lot of people think it's just a case of money. Melbourne Knights have always been a bit critical of the current format of Football Australia, of the national second tier, and it's probably related to how much it's going to cost. I think that's just a reality. Things cost a lot. If you want this national second tier, you're going to have to fork up and pay for it. And looks like they may not be doing that. It'll be interesting to see what happens the next week and months as well, because we know Football Australia is currently in the process of trying to get 2 to 4 more teams to join this national second tier, and they so that it's going to go about in a confidential manner. So, unfortunately, unless we get clubs like Melbourne Knights having a bit of a whinge and making their own statements, I don't think we'll hear much more. Hopefully, we can find another 4 teams. It'd be good to see some teams outside of Melbourne and Sydney as well. But when the money and the vast majority of the population of this country are in those 2 cities, I wouldn't be surprised if we got another Melbourne or another Sydney team. I think surely we can get Brisbane in, or the Gold Coast. You got to dream that it'll be South Hobart, but obviously there's a lot of politics in play down there as well. So love to see Adelaide City as well, but I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see in the next couple of months who the next teams might be. But yeah, I think that'll wrap it up on this video. Just want to have a quick chat about obviously this Melbourne Knights press release. Let us know what you think of this whole scenario, this whole press release thing in the comments. Love to get your thoughts. If you haven't liked the video, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, also please do that. We've been very generous by all you listeners or followers or watchers, wherever you get this podcast. We really appreciate it. Over 800 on YouTube. It's crazy what we've achieved in 4 years, just sitting here and having a yarn about the A-League. So anyway, I think that'll wrap it up for me, and I will see you in the next video, and hopefully Samuel will be there as well.